Hi, I'm Eva, aka Eva the Relationship Maker. I'm here with Nani, and we are the creators of Succeed in an Uncertain Times. It's going to be on YouTube and all my channels on Spotify and Apple, and it's a 10 series podcast. And we are talking to you about failure, about successes, and how to overcome all the challenges in your business. Nani?
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, so we're excited. I am Nani Carolina Chassin, and I am a personal and business coach that automates and optimizes your life and business. And we have been generating a lot of content online on social media. We decided to create this series because there is something great that we have for you to know. We have all these secrets, and today the episode number 3 is actually what is your worth and how to calculate your pricing, because that's very important in business. And we decided to do this 10 series because these are uncertain times, but we want you to succeed regardless of the times. No matter what happens, we want you to succeed. And with that, that's why we wanted to create these series of episodes. And Eva and I collaborate very well. We love sharing with our audience that follows us everywhere in all the social medias and everywhere online. So that's why we're doing this. And I'm so excited to talk about this topic, which is very hot because a lot of people have different strategies for pricing and knowing your worth. And we're going to talk about different things regarding that for business and how does it affect, how does knowing your worth affect your pricing as well in your business? And it's all tied, of course, it affects your personal life too. So I'm going to let Eva talk a little bit more about that because I know that she is, Eva, the relationship maker. And as the relationship maker, she's also a communication expert. And that is why I want you to communicate, Eva, a little bit about knowing your worth.
One of the hardest things, and our first podcast was, wow, are you on top or you are on the bottom? And basically self-discovery, because I found that most of my clients, when I meet with them, they are shy to ask for the money. They are shy to ask for their worth. They are not prepared. They did not plan. And then you are definitely looking for trouble in your business. It's so important that you have a month, how to say, you have a plan. So you're going to enumerate your fixed expenses and after your variables, because in that case, you're going to be able to know how much money you're going to need to survive. And you're going to see if you have that money, is it going to be just break even, or you're going to make money? You're going to actually create value, not value, but monetary value for your coaching or for a product, for whatever you do. So I'm going to let Nani talk, and after I'm going to go back and I tell you my take on it and my experiences.
Yeah. So that's very important. I think that is the first step usually, right? We want to know exactly what our costs are, to know exactly how much we actually basically need to demand minimum, right? So there's something about knowing your numbers. So knowing your numbers is what she's talking about. You have to know your numbers. What is your life worth, and what is the maintenance of your business and your personal life, to be able to know how much you're going to ask for. If you have a service product, a service-based business, then this is basically how we usually coach people to how to calculate their worth. First, you have to know how much you're worth, not worth in how many assets do you have, but how much money do you need to survive monthly, right? How much do you need to survive weekly and maybe yearly, because it may fluctuate. Maybe once a year you have to pay for the expenses of your website, right? To maintain the hosting, but that's a once a year expense. So you have to definitely make sure that you have that divided throughout the month to include that in your cost and your worth. How much are you asking for? So when you know your numbers and you know how much are your expenses, you know how much do you need to survive, then you have an idea of what is the minimum pricing that you can give of your product and services. If it's a product that you're delivering to the customer, of course, you have to know what are the cost of the different materials that you're going to use to pre-create that product, and the cost of the labor, the cost of the other ancillary services that you have to do to create that product for others. And the same thing for the services. You also have to include in the pricing the amount of money that you invest in coaches, the amount of money that you invest in education for growth. So that is also an expense, even though you think, oh, that's from the profit. No, that's part of the cost of the service that you're providing, because that's how much you're worth. You're worth how you are right now, your experience, your knowledge, but you're also going to be worth more as you grow and you take courses, you have a coach, and then you grow. So you have to include that in the pricing of your service. That is very important. And a lot of people don't include that. They use that as, oh, this is my, from the profit, oh, this is what I'm using. But no, it's part of the cost. So knowing how much you are worth now, it actually is basically how much are your expenses, what is the cost of running your business and your life, and also how much do you think that you are worth. Because if you think that, okay, this is the cost of my life, maybe you have a very high expensive life where you buy Jimmy Choo's shoes and you go to different high-end gyms and you have an expensive hairdresser. Maybe that's your high lifestyle. Well, maybe that's okay, but maybe you are thinking that, no, I want to live a lifestyle. I don't have enough, I'm not generating enough to have that high lifestyle, so I'm going to ask for less. So that's where your self-esteem and your own worth comes into play, because you want to know exactly the kind of lifestyle. You want to have an idea, maybe not at the end, but maybe short term, or maybe not right away, but maybe very short term. What is the lifestyle that you would like to have? Oh, I would like to take these trips for vacation. I would like to take these courses and be able to enjoy this retreat, or maybe this spa, or maybe this high-end life, or maybe I want to be able to travel in first class. You have to include that in the cost, in the pricing of your product. Because if the lifestyle that you want to have is a high lifestyle, then you won't be able to get there if you put a pricing that it's low. And so if you don't have a self-worth high enough, then you're going to say, oh, I'm not worth that much, so I'm going to just ask for this. But you want a lifestyle that is up here and you're pricing out here. That's never going to match. So it's really important to know what is the lifestyle that you want to have with your business, and then work backwards. It's always about reversing engineering and go from the end goal back and reverse engineer everything, and then go back a step and start like this, because otherwise it's going to be hard to elevate yourself to that. What is your opinion on that, Eva?
Many times when somebody starts a business, they work full time and they start a business on the side. And sometimes you have to do sacrifices. If you decide to leave your work, make sure that at least for 1 year you are covered for your fixed expenses, because if not, you're going to be struggling and you're not going to give that much of yourself into your business, because you're going to be always worried about the money. So sometimes you have to go down a little bit with your spending, and it's for the good. Everything has a price. So that's going to be your price if you don't have the necessary funding for you to survive for 1 year or half a year. And if you have a family, you know that is going to be like, you cannot think like when you are alone that I'm going to live on pasta and bread, because you cannot do that to the kids and your wife or husband. So what are the fixed expenses? Basically, it's going to be your office if you're going to rent an office. If not, you can create an office, a home office, and that's deductible. As far as I know, in Canada, it is. The business license. I don't know if you're going to have flyers or brochures. Those are all expensive. If you have a marketing person, if you have, you need stationery, which is, these days, it's not that big of a problem because you can create a letterhead, whatever, on the online. So you might not have to print it out, which is going to help you with your expenses. Then you have the phone, you have the gas, the car payments, and the legal accountants, equipment if you need something. And what else? I'm just looking here if I missed anything. So insurance, oh my God, insurance is must, because if something happens, and let's say you get sick for 1 month, 2 months, then you're going to be out of work and you are not going to make any money. So if you have an insurance that can cover your payments for 1 or 2 months, so those are some of the fixed expenses. Do you have any others, Nanny?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you, first of all, you have the service and utilities of your own home that is going to support that home office for sure. So you have utilities, but there's also other things like the internet. What is the data? Like internet costs. Internet costs right now are taking, if you're going to run a small online business internationally, there's all these little internet costs, right, that we have to pay. The domain for your website, the hosting of your website, maybe you pay for a YouTube premium service to have access to information there faster, because time is valuable when you're an entrepreneur. And if you're a solopreneur starting a business, even more valuable, right? So maybe you want to pay for no ads on YouTube. Maybe you pay for a Spotify, maybe to listen to podcasts without ads or have access to things. Maybe you pay for the data in your phone to hold all the documents and all the data. Like we created this podcast, but we have to pay for Dropbox data to hold the data, Dropbox space to hold the data. We have to pay for Google Docs to hold Google Drive to hold the data. So all these little internet services really add up after a year and monthly, right? And they change. All these services also change, meaning they change the pricing model. This is, again, we're talking about pricing. They change the pricing model sometimes even every 3 months. They may say, oh, now we're offering this amount of data for monthly. No, now it's annually. Now it's 3 months. Like, they change the way they set the pricing often. And so all these internet costs are very important, and they're actually needed in these uncertain times, because we're telling you how to succeed in uncertain times. And these uncertain times, we need to be connected to the internet. And so internet service, like, is it fast enough? Like phone data, like when you are outside and you need a Zoom call, which I have to manage that stuff too, because I'm maybe doing another meeting and going from one place to another. I need that fast data outside, otherwise it's hard. And Eva and I have been experiencing that lately, you know. So if you have to add that expense, and if you cannot afford that expense, then it becomes a logistical problem and affects your success in your business, because you can't do things fast, you can't connect fast, and it just wastes our time, right? And Eva has been unfortunately suffering with me a lot because of this. So, it's my fault. But of course, if you have a budget, you need to manage your budget, and then you lose time or you lose money, right? So you have to figure out the right pricing for your service so that you can cover the right cost of your business, and in a more efficient, like the cost of your business that's going to make you efficient in your work. For example, fast speed on an internet, fast speed. Like I used to when I was living in the prior location, I had fiber optic in my house so that I can upload faster and download faster in all the different podcasts. So otherwise it's very slow. So you're wasting time. So it's very important for the efficiency. So the pricing affects, imagine if pricing affects the efficiency of your work. So that's how interrelated that is, right? And the other thing that I wanted to touch base was on that change of pricing models. The change of pricing models during these uncertain times is very, very tricky. And this is, I mean, maybe you can share a little bit about your ideas on that, Eva, on how uncertain times, the changing, some people raise the price, some people lower the price, some people give things for free. So that is very tricky in these uncertain times. And how do you use pricing to get people to listen to you first for free, for example, and then give a coach, give a service or a product, sell a service or a product? Or how do you start a pricing model where you start something small and then upsell them to a different price once they get to know you, once you deliver extra value, over deliver? And how do you cross sell into other ancillary products that you have? Maybe you have a course, maybe you have something else, maybe you have another group, and different kinds of services. I don't want to talk about only about coaching, but just in general, any kind of business. If it's a retail, maybe you want to sell, for example, instead of selling by item, maybe you sell a bunch of items together, and then you have this package. So packages is another way to change the pricing and group packages so you can get more money for a bunch of products packaged together. So that's also bundling different products and services together help you also raise the price, because it looks like it doesn't look, you are delivering more value, but then you're getting a bigger price and you are asking for the clients to pay a little more. And that's going to, basically it makes you sell more and the clients get more value. What is your take, Eva, on uncertain times and pricing changes and packages?
I was just thinking about how people, they charge hourly and what you should include in the hourly price charge. One of the things that if you have to travel and if you have to stay in a hotel, that has to be included in that's an extra above your value, what you offer and what your price is.
Travel expenses, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And in stores, if you set up a store, how you find out what is the price of your items and how much you have to sell. You have to know how much you pay for square feet if you're renting a place and the rest of the expenses. And you have to find out how much sales you do per square feet. And based on that, that's how you're going to merchandise your products. And that's how you're going to decide what is, how much is going to be the price of the product, because you don't want to work in the losing part. You want to make money. So that's very important, how you're going to set up, but that's a different thing.
But that's when you do comparison, right? You
Yes.
compare, you do market research. And I think we talked about in the last episode, you do a market research with marketing so that you know, for example, maybe the cost of the product of your service, let's say, I'm just going to put some number, let's say it's $10, the cost of your service or your product. But in the same block, the pricing that's going on for that product is 50. So even though the cost is 10, and you say, well, I'm going to put it at 20 because that's 100% profit. Well, actually, the comparison with the pricing around is 50. So it's okay to put it at 45, for example. You're still competitive and you're earning a lot. So it's really all depending on, of course, your competitors as well. The pricing is affected by the other people in your region, in your same space. So that's why marketing and research is very important.
Absolutely. And talking about marketing, going back a little bit about saving money, because that's what we're talking about, how to price, where you can cut cost. If you have a store, it's easy. Just create amazing windows and people we're going to remember. And we were talking about people who stand out in marketing, and I'm not going to go back. If you would like to listen to it, you have to go back to the previous podcast. But as I said, you have to know how to
display, show.
Yeah. So it's important that you are on top of everything, but you have to know, to know, and always put a little bit extra, because when the sales are coming, if you have a product, then you have to be able still to make money, even if you're going to discount that product for that, I don't know, a few days or a week.
Yeah, you have to know your minimum expense so you can cover the minimum cost of running, so you can break even at least. So it's the matter of, if you break even, it's good. Of course, sometimes when you launch something, you spend a lot of money to launch it, and then you expect the sales. But those sales are only expected, hopefully, based on your market research, how much you can sell in a period of time to the population or to the audience that you have around you, right? The audience that you can reach, I should say. So it's really important that it's sure. But initially, you may have an initial investment that you're in the red at the beginning, and then you're hoping with the research and the actions, you're gonna be able to break even and then make some profit. But it's important for the pricing and the self-worth. I'm gonna go back to that self-worth, because sometimes I have clients that tell me, no, but I can't charge that. Like, how can I charge that? How can they're so scared of charging too much because they don't really think they are worth it. They don't think that their service is worth it. Well, one way to feel like it's worth it is by comparing, but sometimes actually they compare themselves with other people that have the same service, and they say, well, but I'm just starting, and how can I ask for the same or around the same if I'm just starting? But that's when you add value to the product and services that you give. And when you do that, and you know how you differentiate yourself between the others, but you're just one of the others, then you can actually feel a little more confident about your worth and then charge around the same price. And it's like saying, for example, I went to law school and I finished law school, and this is my first year as a graduate in law school. And unfortunately, and like I don't feel I'm worth because I haven't done a case. Well, you already went through law school and you studied and you prepared. So what makes you not worth to charge what another lawyer is charging for the same service? Nothing. It's just you are different because you have a different approach. So it makes you special. So there's nothing. So the same way when you're telling a product or service, when you're starting, it's okay. Don't feel that you're less.
And coaching, it's one of those things. You're selling an idea, a dream, basically, and you're selling also a course that is going to improve your life and your business. So everything. So you have to value yourself. That's the most important thing. You have to know what is your value. And I know it's very hard. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and she had been running very successful business. She's in coaching and events. She's an event coordinator. And of course, everything was closed. So she had to pivot, like all of us. We have to find our way to still work. And I was talking to her yesterday, and she says, I don't know, and she had been in this business for the past 30 years, at least. And she says, I'm questioning myself if I know as much as I know that I know, because everything is falling apart. So never give up, and never lose that your side, that maybe you are not worth that much anymore, because all those experiences, they cannot be replaced with the paper. Nani?
That's right. That's right. Like your experience that you have actually lived, it's a wisdom. Wisdom is not information. Wisdom is something that you learn and you apply to yourself, to your business, and now it's active. You're living the knowledge. So you read a book, you can read a book, but if you don't implement the knowledge that you read, then doesn't turn into a real wisdom, right? So that's your experience, and that experience is valuable. It may not be, and it's a value. It's something that is part of the pricing. You are valuable, so make sure that that's there. And I know we didn't want to go too long in these podcasts. We wanted to make it short and sweet for you. And we have so much to say, but we would love to expand this with you in person. We would love to get to know you. We would love to give you more, even more value, like we're talking here, from all the experiences and the wisdom that we have gained together. So imagine there's a lot of wisdom here. You know, Eva has a ton of wisdom and things that she's implemented, and she's a successful woman. But for that, and the same thing on my side. So we would like to get to know you. We want to get to book you an appointment with us for free so we can have a consultation, and maybe even you're interested in some coaching with me. So I would love that. But so that's why I wanted to kind of summarize and wrap up now that we have, just to not make it too long. We have a few minutes left.
That's great. That's great. We have the information. We're going to have some handouts by the time this video is coming out. And we need something from you too. I mean, we are giving. We need your feedback. We need questions. And just get in touch with us. Let us know what you liked and what would you like to learn more that what we exposed at this point here. We are also on Clubhouse. Every Tuesday, Monday, the video is coming out, and every Tuesday at 6 o'clock.
That's it. Q&A.
Yeah.
Come
Q&A.
and ask us questions.
Yeah, definitely.
Live, and it's live. It's not recorded. So we're there live, and you can ask us any questions. We'll coach you for free with free coaching. We answer all your questions, any challenge that you have, because these are uncertain times. We don't know what's happening, but we want you to succeed. That is our purpose with these videos, with these podcasts, with the information, with the value that we give. Our mission really is to help you succeed the best way that you can. And pricing, knowing your worth, knowing how much you're feeling confident to ask what you're worth is very important. So mental health is important, and also knowing your numbers, the cost, everything that's involved in setting up the price, and managing how to package the pricing, how to change the pricing over time, all those tons of information that we already know, and we coach our clients for it. That is what we want you to do. We want you to know. So we want to share with you. So with that, Eva,
the best thing I have done 2 years ago to sign up to these free seminars and webinars. Every morning I couldn't wait to get online, and it was early, it didn't matter, but it kept me going, and it kept my energy up, even though everything was falling apart around us. We couldn't go and have live events, which are very important, and I like live events. So you have to find your way. So if you are curious, get in touch with us. We're going to leave all the information on the bottom of the podcast.
It's in the description, or somewhere there, or somewhere there, or there.
It's going to be everywhere. So thank you, Nanny. Thank you for all of you listening. And I'm really looking forward to hear your feedback and your questions.
Yep. And I always see my lens crooked.
Okay.
Image is important. How you show up. So just to recap, the first episode, you're on top and you're on the bottom. How you show up. Know where you are. Know. Number 2 is
expose yourself.
Expose yourself, right? And exposing yourself. How do you expose yourself? And then number 3, the price. What's your worth? Do you know what's your worth? And all these things we're going to be adding up. And it's an accumulation of wisdom and knowledge that you can actually implement. Some tips that we're giving you, know the cost, be able to pivot and package your products and services. You can ask some more, do some cross sale, do your market research to see the comparative prices on the places where with the other audience that you share your products and services. So there's so many different things that go in for business success in an uncertain time. Make sure that the internet information is ready for you, that you can be more efficient. We can give a better product, and you can be there for it.
Can I butt in? I forgot something that it's very important. I was talking about how to calculate your price on hourly price, but I know that you and I have package prices which are important, and we can show you how to put together and which one is going to sell the best. But you have to
because you have to
with us.
because I think because there is actually because it's very important when we talk about hourly price, when Eva talks about hourly price, is to calculate the cost, because you have to know how much an hour of your time is worth. So that's why it's important to know your hourly price. But it doesn't mean that you're going to price by hour. You're priced by the results, by a product that you deliver. But you have to know the cost of your hour to really know if the product takes 2 hours to deliver, then how much is that going to cost you? And also all the other hours that you spend researching, creating, designing, preparing, all that counts. So it's important to know the hourly cost for you, but that's not how you're going to charge the client or the whatever target audience. You're going to charge by a result. That's the best way. And that's why we charge by packages. We don't charge by hour, but we charge by package and result. But we have to know the cost of the hour. That's why it's very important what she said.
And if you would like to find out, you have to DM us. We are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, we are everywhere. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and it's going to be our pleasure to answer it. And until next time.
Bye. See you next one.